Thank you, Mr.
Smith, so you defrauded the home program and embezzled the home program between 2000 and 2005. Is that correct?
We had home program dollars, but
So when did you steal the money? Between 2000 and 2005?
Yes, but the actual
Okay.
offense had nothing to do with HUD funds.
That had nothing to do, no home funds.
No.
So, but this is a home fund hearing. You're here to tell us about the home funds, aren't you?
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
but you didn't take any money, steal any money from the home program?
No.
Oh, okay. But what program did you steal the money and embezzle it from?
We mismanaged funds from the actual organization.
From the actual organization. Okay. So let me ask you something. So you worked at the Urban Enterprise Association as an executive?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And that's in Gary, Indiana.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you the same person from the Gary Urban Enterprise Association executive in Gary, Indiana, that made a $300 contribution on 3/10/2003 and a $5,000 contribution on 3/14/2003 to the National Republican Congressional Campaign Committee?
Yes, sir, I am.
And did those funds that you gave come from the money that you embezzled from the organization that you worked at?
It came from my salary, sir.
It came from your salary?
Yes.
You
I
kept
paid-
two separate accounts, the money you stole and the money you earned?
It came from my personal account.
So while you were embezzling money, you were being charitable to the Congressional Republican Campaign Committee. You thought that would be your largesse, to give them $5,000. So you're a thief on the one hand, but you're very generous with the National Republican Congressional Campaign Committee. Is that what we're to believe?
If those are the words that you want to use, sir.
No, but okay. Who asked you and who invited you to contribute? Because this is a pretty extraordinary for somebody who's stealing money. $5,000 is a pretty extraordinary amount of money. Who asked you to contribute and who invited you to contribute to the National Republican Congressional Campaign Committee?
I don't actually recall how I...
You know you're under oath, right?
I do realize that I'm under oath, sir. I remember everything I...
And you don't remember who asked you to give $5,000?
No, sir. It was maybe like 10 years ago, so I don't...
10 years ago, I mean 20 years ago, somebody asked me if I contributed $5,000 or something. I think I would. So let me ask you something. How much were you earning in salary in 2003?
In 2003?
Mm-hmm. And you're under oath.
I understand that, sir. Probably 65,000.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry?
How much was your salary?
I'm sorry. I guess I got cut off because I said 65,000.
$65,000. So $65,000, and as the Republicans keep telling us all the time, there's a lot of taxes on all that money, so you're probably getting about $45,000. So you just had a $45,000 salary, and I'm being a little generous, take-home pay. You just had an extra $5,000 laying around to give to the National Republican Congressional Campaign Committee, but you don't remember who asked you for it. Is that right?
I gave it. I don't really remember who actually asked.
Let me ask you something. Since you used the money, and I know you're telling me that your salary had nothing to do with HUD or federal government programs, that your salary had nothing to do with governmental programs at this not-for-profit institution, and that your salary, not a penny of that salary came from government funds.
No, sir, it did not.
It didn't. All right, we'll check into that real shortly. Let me ask you something. Have they sent you the money back now that they know you're a convicted felon and a fraud and you were stealing money the very same time from the federal government that you gave this money? Did they give the money back to you? Send you back a check?
No, sir, they didn't.
Thank you. That's all the questions I have.
I thank the gentleman, and now the gentleman
Here to tell us about how you stole those HUD funds and how in the future we can stop HUD funds from being stolen. Yes, no?
Was that a question or was
Yes,
it?
that is a question. Is that your purpose here, to tell us how you stole the HUD funds?
I'm here to tell you how HUD funds were mismanaged and
Were stolen and embezzled. Is that not correct?
were mismanaged, yes, sir.
But mismanaged, did you pay off the car debt? Did you pay off a car debt with those mismanaged funds?
No, sir, I did not.
Okay. Did you increase your salary with those mismanaged funds?
Did I do what?
Did you increase your salary with those mismanaged funds?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. So you increased your salary with those mismanaged funds, which we agree came from HUD.
No, sir.
No.
Again, no, sir, those funds did not come from HUD. That organization had its own revenue source. Those funds came from that revenue source.
Then what are you doing here? This is an investigation into the HOME program conducted by HUD, which you have nothing to do with. You never received any money from that program, according to you.
My organization, again, sir.
Your organization that you were the executive director of received money from HUD, did it not?
The organization that I was the executive director of set up a sub-organization that received money from HUD.
And you managed that sub-organization, did you not?
Yes, sir, I did.
There you go. So you were getting paid to manage that sub-organization which was receiving HUD funds.
Yes, sir. But
Okay,
my
good.
salary-
We finally got to the HUD funds and why you're here. Now let me ask you just one more question. I'll give the time back to the gentleman from Texas. Now that we have established that you were running an organization and supervising an organization and getting paid, right, with HUD proceeds, right, did any of those HUD proceeds go to make up the $5,000 contribution that you made in 2003 to the National Republican Congressional Campaign Committee?
No, sir, it did
You
not.
segregated the money.
My salary did not come from those HUD.
Your salary did that. So you supervised an organization, but your salary didn't come from the. I'm sorry. It's like this doesn't pass any test, any remote test. The money came from there. You don't want to admit it. The majority won't let us go into executive session so we can find out who the contractors were. I'm sorry, the consultant was that designed this program. We can't find out who the politicians were that consulted this program. We want to find out how all these things happened, but we're going to be limited to asking questions of two convicted felons, one of whom is saying she didn't steal anything. She just, borrowed it and got caught before she paid it back. I return the time to my friend from Texas, Mr. Green.
Thank you, and I do want to ask just a